It's my days.
Yo, bro,
What's up?
what's up? Like, I just want to ask, is it also for like atheists?
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to be a Christian, bro.
For sure. Why you stop?
Well, man, I just thought about it all, ask questions that could not be answered. And at the end of the day, I realized that there is no God.
Oh, how'd you come to that conclusion?
Well, first of all, look at the suffering in the world. Like, man, it's a lot in the Bible as well. Like, reading a lot of uncomfortable stuff that just does not make sense at all.
What doesn't make sense?
Well, for example, like the killings of God, like, God killing people in the Bible, and, it's just so many stuff.
Well, here, how about this? How about you ask whatever question you want, and I'll do my best to answer that question.
All right,
If
let me
you if
think.
you want me to if you want me to show you that God exists, we could do that. If you want me to explain the things in the Bible, we could do that. Whatever questions you want, I'll try to give an answer.
All right, no worries, no worries. Let me just think about a question to ask. Well, I'd say let's talk about Egypt.
Okay.
The first bones that were like killed for no reason.
For no reason.
Yeah, like for no reason, straight up. They were just murdered by God for some reason. Like,
Yeah, it was a reason.
reason to kill babies.
Well, the firstborn doesn't necessarily mean baby. I'm a firstborn.
Well, obviously, let's be honest, out of all those that were, killed that day, let's say a million, right? There were a million Egyptians. I'd say about 300,000 would be children.
I don't know that, but I don't know where you even get those numbers from.
I'm just like giving a hypothetical, and just an estimation. I don't know how many there were, but like, what did the people do to deserve that?
I mean, Moses was the firstborn. He was like 80
And why didn't bro die?
because he did what God told him to do, where he sacrificed a lamb, put the blood on the doorpost so the angel of death will pass over. What did the Egyptians, somebody's asking, what did the Egyptians do first? So if you remember, when Moses was born, the Pharaoh said, hey, we should go and kill every single uh, Israelite boy that is born right now. So that's what was going on. So after all of these chances where God gives Egypt as a whole the chance to repent, one of the last things that happens to them is the justice from their act of unaliving Israel's firstborn, or Israel's sons, not just firstborn, but Israel's sons. So it's not just no reason. And it's not that God just did it out the blue. He told them what was going to happen, right? He gives them the chance to repent. They decide not to repent. And then these things happen. And this happened like 8 times before the plague of death comes, or 9 times before the plague of death comes. So the Pharaoh has 9 times to say, all right, I'm sorry, I'll follow you. 9 times. And he keeps choosing, nah, I'm not doing it, I'm not doing it, I'm not doing it, I'm not doing it. So
I think
then
it,
justice comes for what he did.
yeah, you actually, well, I think it says that the guy's heart was made hard, something like that.
Like he made his heart hard. So that means that
Yeah,
like
like,
he strengthened his will against God. That's what it means. Like that word in the Hebrew, it means to strengthen. That's what it means. So it doesn't mean that like he doesn't have free will or anything, but it means that like he strengthened his heart. So wherever his heart was, like he had strength in that. So like if he was rejecting God, he like made himself stronger in his rejection towards God. He didn't allow the things that he was seeing to sway his opinion and his rejection towards God.
well, I get I get what you're saying. I get the argument, and it does make sense. So, like, let me go to a different thing. Let me
Hmm.
ask a different thing. Because, like, obviously, it's not just that. It's like so much. Okay, let's talk about Jesus Christ.
Let's
You
talk
know,
about him.
I'm not saying he's not good, but you know, when Jesus came, obviously there was slavery in that time, right?
Hmm.
Bro did not say anything about slavery. He was just like quiet. He didn't say anything against it. Didn't say stop it. It was just like it like never existed to him.
Yeah, I mean, what was the purpose of Jesus coming?
I thought he was like a great guy who was supposed to stop injustice and like just do good things.
No, so the purpose of if his whole purpose was to like stop injustice on his first coming, he would have done that. That wasn't the purpose of it, right? If you're talking about like stopping the injustice, namely that human beings were dying because of the deception of the serpent, then yeah, that was his purpose. But like trying to fix all the physical things that was going on here, that was not Jesus' purpose, which is why you see Jesus suffer at the hands of injustice, right? He's wrongfully accused. He's hung on a cross for something that he didn't do. He did no wrong, no deceit in his mouth, yet he was unalive. He didn't come to sit here and get rid of all injustice, like in regards to what humans do, but to reconcile us back unto God. That was the reason for his coming, to show us how to live proper lives, even in the face of oppression and injustice.
So basically, oh yeah, yeah. I know that he died for sins. That's what at least Christians believe, right? But like, let's be honest, man. If we go back to the beginning, right? Genesis,
Okay.
isn't it Adam and Eve? They eat the apple or whatever it was. Like they didn't know what good and evil was, right? Before that,
No,
prior to
they
that.
they did. They did.
But
So it would be like it'd be like if I'm asking God for wisdom, right? I say, Lord, please bless me with wisdom, or Lord, please bless me with knowledge. It doesn't mean that I have no knowledge or I have no wisdom, but the greater understanding, the greater wisdom, the greater knowledge that I would have to get to through God, that's what I'm asking for. So they have knowledge of good and evil, but like the peak that they were supposed to reach, the greater aspects of the knowledge of good and evil, the greater aspects of wisdom, they were supposed to get through their contemplation with God. So they understood that this thing was wrong, which is why you see their contemplation of said wrong and then their consent to the wrong. They understand that that thing is wrong. And you see that very clearly in Genesis chapter 3. But their sin is trying to go outside of God to achieve the things that you're only supposed to get through God.
so basically, they didn't know that was wrong, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, like to be honest, man, it all just boils down to like myself. I think it's just mainly because of what I see in the world, bro. Like the suffering, what's going on, and like
What
I
about it?
just think, like just saying, if I was God, I would do better, bro.
You
Just
think
saying,
so?
bro. Yeah, I would do like absolutely better.
How? How would you do better?
Well, let's talk about the injustices that go on in the world, right? I'd literally stop them all. I
So you
would stop
just
that.
so would you give your creation free will?
Of course, I would.
So when they do something that you don't want them to do, would you just stop their free will?
I'd say if it's harming another human, I would.
Yeah, so then what's the virtue?
Well, I'd say the virtue is choosing to do good to other
How do you
people.
how do you choose to good if I can't choose? I can't exercise when I decide to do something bad, right? I couldn't even properly possibly do that because you're gonna stop me.
Well, not stopping you from doing what you want, just the evil that you want to do or whatever you're thinking about doing. Like,
Yeah,
let's
so
say,
then
for
there's no virtue. Like for example, my friend has this analogy. If I'm in a house with you and I'm burning down, and the house is burning down, right? So
yeah.
like you're sitting there and you're trying to get all these kids together that's in the house that's burning down in order to try to like get out the house. I'm scared for my own life. I don't care nothing about y'all. I kick the door down, right? And I run out to save myself, right? You, as a virtue of me kicking the door down to save myself, also run out. Now, I didn't really, or did I do a virtuous act? Like, did I save your life? Or did I just
Yeah,
save
you did.
myself?
You did save all of us.
Did I mean to save all of you?
Nah, you did it for selfish reasons.
Exactly. So that's not actually virtuous, right? Like I'm not doing actually anything good where I'm like sacrificing anything or trying to do something for others. I'm only doing something for myself, right? So the virtue is in actually having the ability to do good, right? To do good actions. And by the ability to do good actions, it means that I reject the selfish desires. Now, I could act on these selfish desires to just save myself, right? But I don't act on those selfish desires. Nothing is impeding me from acting on those selfish desires, right? But I don't out of the goodness in my heart. That's virtue. Um, that's like the true virtue, right? So, would you get in the way of human beings actually being virtuous?
No, I wouldn't. If it's gonna help other people, I wouldn't.
Yeah, so that's the same. You're saying that you make the same decision that God would make. That you would give them free will and you won't get in the way of them trying to be virtuous, which means that some people are going to make bad decisions. They're going to fall to their vices rather than following virtue. Now, hopefully in falling to their vices, they learn from those mistakes and then follow virtue. Now you would know these things if you were God, right? But it sounds like you would make the same decision that God would make.
Well, most likely, yeah, most likely. Well, so like, what happens if I don't like come back to Christianity? Like, isn't it hell for me, right? I'm guessing.
I mean, yeah, but it's like
Man,
it's your choice. So it's not like a punishment where it's like God's like throwing you in hell or something. I mean, throwing you in jail or something like that. But it's you not liking God, not wanting to be in His presence. But when you die, you're going to be in His presence. So what you don't like, you're going to be experiencing pretty much. You don't like God, you're going to be experiencing God. That's pretty much hell.
man, I've always thought about it, bro. I think, to be honest, like at the stage where I used to believe in Christ, like honestly, no cap. I used to believe in like Jesus dying for my sins, him being God and everything.
So what's
But
stopping you now? Because the thing of suffering can't be a problem. Because I mean, we just admitted I would make the same decision as you. You would make the same decision as God. Like I would let human beings live out their virtue, even if that means that some people fall to their vices. Prayerfully, they end up following virtue. So what's the problem? What's stopping you right now?
man, I just think it's all rigged, like, cause like he knew Adam and Eve would eat the fruit, right?
Hmm.
And he knew what. Obviously, he didn't force them to do it, right?
Right.
But he knew that they're gonna eat the fruit. He knew that there would come suffering in the world. Basically, it's like me saying, obviously, maybe this analogy is like bad, but it's like me knowing my friend is gonna, let's say I'm with my with a friend, and my friend's gonna like do something bad, and I'm like, you got free will. I'm just gonna watch you jump into the fire. I ain't gonna do stuff. I'm just gonna watch you. Like, I think that's how God is. Like, if God does exist, He
Hmm.
doesn't care. He's just
And I think that Christianity teaches the exact opposite. So like for another analogy, I was watching my niece, right?
yeah.
And like she got free will, right? So she was on the bed and she was sitting there, she was playing too much. I said, hey, if you keep jumping, you'll mess around, you'll fall off the bed. Right. I allowed her to keep jumping, knowing exactly what was gonna happen. She was gonna jump on the pillow, she was gonna lose her balance, and she was gonna fall off the bed. Now when that happened, I was there to catch her. Right. And that's essentially what Christ does, is that he knows what's going to happen. Hey, you're going to do this thing where you're going to jump on the pillow, you're going to fall off the bed, and you're going to be doomed to your destruction. That's the death. That's us eating of the fruit and denying God. Right. But he incarnates, he catches us. So he allows us to learn our lesson through misapplying our free will to choose what is bad. Right. And instead, he catches us and saves us from our decisions, right? And then shows us the proper way in which to live. And that he really shows us that he cares, because he doesn't just do the bare minimum. He could have done anything. He could have took on flesh, felt the heat of the sun, or starved for a day or whatever, and that would have been enough to save us. But he doesn't do that. He doesn't do the bare minimum. Instead, he gives everything, which is his life, He shows how much we matter to him, how much he cares for us. And he defeats death because no one was able to do it but him. He raises from the dead as proof for us that he actually cares and that death has been defeated, and we can dedicate our entire life to him because we know in him there is no death. So now all we need to do is follow him. He saved us. This is the one God out of all the religions that cares so much that he himself comes and joins us to our suffering, sanctifies our suffering, and teaches us how to live in the midst of suffering.
Well, I do get what you're saying, but like I'm not even trying to sound disrespectful.
That's cool.
From my point, the way I see it is I see this thing, this God, right?
Yep.
He basically knows we're gonna, sin. And obviously you've explained. And Adam and Eve, they sin, death comes into the world, it goes on and goes on, and then he's seeing suffering going on, like it's just going on and going on for 1,000 years, and then he's just like, you know what? It's about time I just, intervene.
That's
I'm not
not,
even trying to. Look, I'm not trying to sound disrespectful.
no, that's not. I'm just saying that's not how it happened. That's funny though. That's not.
I'm just trying to say how I see it. Like,
Yeah.
and that's how I see it now. I was a Christian, but that's how I see it now. Like
Nah.
after
Yeah.
1,000 years, bro's like, you know what? I might as well just go check them out.
Nah.
Killing each other.
So here, look, I'll show you. Yeah.
Man, that's how I see it, bro.
So you go to Genesis 3, right? The fall, when Adam and Eve eat of the tree, you'll see that God gives this promise immediately. So this is what God says to the serpent, right? And the serpent is cursed, and he says, I will put enmity between you and the woman, between your offspring and her offspring, and he shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel. Now, this is a prophecy of Christ. This is literally right after the fall. So what God is doing throughout the Old Testament is he's preparing his people for his coming. So when you get like Cain and Abel, right? We're following a very specific line of people, namely the people of Adam, then the people of Seth, so that we will know when God comes in the flesh. So he's paving the way so that we're able to understand, we're able to follow, we're in the right place to actually accept Christ when he comes. He's not just like, all right, now let me intervene. No. So now when people come up, right? And they're like, oh, how do you know that Jesus is God? Bro, I have all these scriptures, right, of what he prophesied over all of these years. So it's so much evidence now that, 1,000 years before Christ, Isaiah said that a child is born, a son is given, and his name will be Mighty God. Oh, how do we know that Christ is the Messiah? Oh, well, the prophet says that, he's going to be born of a virgin, right? And this son that she bears is going to be God with us. So he's making sure that everything is in place so that when he comes, there doesn't need to be any doubt. And we will have the firm ground to stand on because all of this history backs up what happened at the crucifixion and resurrection.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I do see what you're saying. Okay, but like a genuine question, bro. Do you think maybe, just maybe, God's gonna understand why I do not believe in him? Like, if he exists, that's if he exists.
Well, I mean, if you want, we could run an argument for the existence of God. Like, God definitely exists. I could tell you that. But do I think that he will understand? God knows your heart, right? Like he knows your heart. Now, it doesn't seem like throughout this conversation that as of right now, you have really good reason to reject him. What do you lose? For real. What, you follow Christ? You live the best life possible because you dedicate your life to him?
Like what? Right?
Yeah, like what do you lose in following him? Like, what's your reason now as to not following him?
I just say, man, like I just it's just I've thought about it like very much, and obviously, you might have answers to some questions and to some things that I'm asking, because like obviously we don't have the whole day. I could go on and on and on.
Hmm.
But like, to be honest, man, if God does exist, and obviously I want to hear your arguments, but if there's a God, man, and I stand before him, man, I'm gonna take my chances. Like, if I'm gonna go burn in hell, I'm gonna take my chances, bro. Like,
Why?
I
I'm confused.
it's because I just think he doesn't care, man. He really doesn't care. If he does exist, he's just random. He doesn't care.
What evidence do you have that he doesn't care?
Like, just look at all that goes on, man. And even if we go with our history as black people, man, like, I don't think God even likes black people.
I
Just
mean, not
saying.
even our ancestors thought that, bro.
Man, come on, think about it, bro. Like, not that I hold on to history. Like, nobody cares about history anymore. But like, if we read our history or we see where we're from, like, the way it goes, man, I think God just didn't care about us. He was just like, you know what? Leave them alone. Like, who cares?
Yeah, I don't even think that history shows that. Like, or are you American?
Yeah, I was born in America, but I wasn't raised there.
Okay, yeah, like in regards to like slavery and stuff, the reason, like, bro, they called Harriet Tubman Moses,
Yeah, I know about Harriet Tubman. Yeah,
but I'm saying
heard
like
about it.
they called her Moses. Like
Yeah, like
these
they were.
people leaned on the Bible in their fight for freedom. And they say that she was directly guided by God. And she's not the only person that's talked about like that. Like,
I really
well,
think that.
Harriet Tubman used to have like these things called spells, right? Where she would like fall into like a sleep. And what she would say is that God would guide her the way to freedom.
Yeah, I really think that she was
Like,
just coping. You know, she was just coping.
hoping. Do you know how many
Yeah,
people she led to freedom?
much respect. Yeah, she did lead a lot of people to freedom. And we adore her and respect her for that. But like, if we go with her saying it was God, I think it was just she was coping, bro. She had maps. She knew everything. She was smart, like dead
Maps, bro.
ass.
She was a slave.
I think she was just smart, bro. Like naturally smart. Einstein type shit like that.
I mean, look, bro. I
Yeah.
think here, so continue asking questions, continue looking into the reality of like or the evidence for Christianity, bro.
Yeah.
Just because there's really, really good evidence for Christianity. It's not like people just believing in it just because it's historical evidence that backs it up. It's logical and philosophical arguments that backs it up. Like it's not just no reason. So look into it, bro, and come back.
All right, man. No worries, man. I appreciate it though.
All right, bro. God bless, man.
Thanks, bro.
Bro, that conversation is like heartbreaking to me.